All right, buckle up everyone, because today we're taking a deep dive into a real head-scratcher, dark matter. But with a twist. We're asking, what if we could actually see it?
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild ride. Now, I know you all probably know the basics about dark matter already. It's this mysterious stuff that makes up a huge chunk of the universe, but we can only detect it through its gravity.
Right, it's like the universe's best kept secret.
Exactly. But just imagine if we woke up tomorrow and suddenly, poof, this invisible stuff was actually visible. What would we see?
Well, picture this. This vast, almost hazy network spanning the entire universe called the cosmic web. It's like the true structure of everything finally being revealed. Instead of just seeing individual stars and galaxies scattered around, we'd see this intricate, interconnected web.
So instead of mostly empty space, we'd see what, like a giant cosmic spider web holding everything together?
Kind of, and it gets even wilder. Imagine looking up at the night sky and seeing these like ghostly, transparent spheres moving around.
Wait, what? Spheres? Where are these coming from?
Dark matter might exist in these halos surrounding galaxies and even within our own solar system. And if we could see it, we wouldn't just see it up in space. It would be like these faint, shimmering spheres passing right through us.
Hold on, passing through us. How does that even work?
See, because dark matter doesn't really interact with light or normal matter the way we're used to, we wouldn't bump into it or anything. Think of it like this, you know those long exposure photos where cars look like streaks of light? It'd be kind of like that, but instead of streaks, we're talking these faint spheres constantly in motion.
So it's like our reality would suddenly feel a lot more crowded. I mean, talk about sensory overload.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, it's not just about what we'd see. Think about the science. Imagine how this would revolutionize our understanding of how galaxies form.
Yeah, we wouldn't just be guessing anymore. It'd be like having an X-ray vision of the universe, right?
Exactly. Finally understanding this invisible scaffolding that holds everything together, how it affects the distribution of mass in the universe. And who knows, it might even hold the key to unlocking other mysteries, like dark energy.
So we're not just talking about pretty pictures in the sky. We're talking about a fundamental shift in how we understand the universe. It'd be huge.
Absolutely. And you know what? It wouldn't stop there. Just imagine how this would impact art, philosophy, our whole culture.
We haven't even scratched the surface on that. Yeah, it would be like getting a peek behind the curtain of reality, wouldn't it? Like suddenly realizing there's this whole other layer to existence we've been oblivious to. But wouldn't that make us question some pretty basic assumptions about, well, everything?
You hit the nail on the head there. Like, take time, for example. We experience it as this linear thing, past, present, future, right? But what if dark matter doesn't play by those same rules?
Wait, are you saying that seeing dark matter could actually change how we perceive time itself? How's that even possible?
Well, some physicists have this theory, right? That dark matter exists in a state where past, present, and future are all happening like simultaneously.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. So you're suggesting we might catch a glimpse of a reality beyond our current understanding of time. Then what happens to cause and effect? Free will. This is getting a little too much for me.
It really makes you think. But that's the thing about these thought experiments. They push us to consider what we think is possible, especially where it comes to something as fundamental as time.
Okay. I'm trying to wrap my head around a world where our concept of time is totally different. It's a lot to take in. Let's bring it back down to earth for a sec. You mentioned earlier that seeing dark matter could change how we define life. Can you dig a little deeper into that?
Sure. You know, we tend to define life based on what we know, right? Things that move, grow, reproduce. But what if dark matter represents a form of existence that blows all those definitions out of the water?
You mean like, what if it's alive in a way we haven't even considered?
Exactly. What if its behavior, its interactions, suggest a kind of sentience or awareness we're just not equipped to grasp yet? It challenges our whole understanding of what it means to be alive.
So instead of searching for life on other planets, looking for familiar signs, we might need to completely redefine our search. It could be right here all along, hidden in plain sight.
Now you're getting it. And that brings up another mind-blowing question. If we can't even perceive dark matter directly, does that mean our senses are only showing us a tiny fraction of what's actually out there?
Okay, now you're really blowing my mind.
Think about it. What if there are other realities, other dimensions coexisting with our own, and we're just completely blind to them because our senses aren't equipped to tune in?
So we could be living in a universe far more complex and weirder than we ever imagined, and only aware of a tiny sliver of it.
Precisely. And that brings us back to those philosophical implications we were talking about. If we could see dark matter, would it make us question the very fabric of reality?
Absolutely. It would challenge our entire understanding of our place in the cosmos. We like to think we're at the center of it all, but what if this is just a tiny piece of a much grander, more mysterious tapestry? Wouldn't that be both humbling and exhilarating at the same time?
Definitely. It would be a huge reality check. To realize that we're part of something so vast and unknowable would spark a sense of wonder, a desire to learn and explore even further.
But it's not all philosophy and existential crises, right? Imagine the practical implications. You touched on space travel earlier. How could understanding dark matter change how we navigate the cosmos?
Think about it. Right now, we're limited by our understanding of gravity and the speed of light. But what if dark matter, the stuff that makes up most of the universe's mass, holds the key to unlocking new ways to move through space? Maybe even manipulate space-time itself.
Okay, now we're talking about some serious science fiction stuff here. Warp drives, wormholes, are those even on the table? Could we actually achieve faster than light travel and explore the farthest reaches of the universe?
Well, those are some of the mind-boggling possibilities people are exploring. If we could just wrap our heads around dark matter and maybe even find a way to manipulate it, the potential for space exploration would be limitless. Imagine charting courses through the cosmos using the structure of the cosmic web, navigating based on this invisible scaffolding that holds the universe together.
Wow, that's amazing. Maybe like, instead of fighting against the limits of conventional propulsion, we could ride the currents of dark matter itself, unlocking new frontiers in space travel and expanding our reach across the cosmos. But with all this talk of futuristic tech and mind-blowing cosmic mysteries, let's not forget about us regular folks down here on Earth. How would seeing dark matter change our everyday experience?
Try to picture this. You're walking down the street and you see these streams of dark matter flowing through buildings, through people even. It'd be like this constant visual reminder that there's so much more to reality than meets the eye.
Yeah, it's one thing to think about dark matter abstractly, but to actually see it intertwined with our everyday lives, well, that would definitely change our perspective, wouldn't it?
Without a doubt. It would be like seeing the world through a whole new lens. And think about the implications for fields like architecture and urban planning. If we could map out the flow of dark matter, could we design buildings and cities in a way that works in harmony with these unseen forces?
It's fascinating to think about how something we can't even perceive right now could have such a huge impact on our physical environment and how we design the spaces we live in. But wouldn't it also bring up some pretty big challenges? Like, for instance, if we could see and maybe even manipulate dark matter, wouldn't that raise a whole bunch of ethical questions? Who controls this knowledge? How do we use it responsibly? You're really hitting on something important there. Just like with any major scientific breakthrough, the potential for misuse is always there. It makes you wonder if we as a society would even be ready for something like seeing dark matter.
That's a question we should definitely be asking ourselves. Would we approach it with a sense of wonder and curiosity? Or would fear, and maybe even greed, end up guiding our actions?
It's almost like humanity is being put to the test just by imagining this. The universe is asking us, are you ready for a truth this big, this game-changing?
And that might be the biggest takeaway from all of this. Even if we never actually figure out how to see dark matter, just thinking about it and how it might impact us can teach us so much about ourselves and our place in the grand scheme of things.
They might not have any easy answers, but they sure get you thinking. They make you challenge your assumptions and see the universe and ourselves in a whole new light.
You got that right. And who knows, maybe someday we'll look back at this conversation and laugh, because what we thought was impossible turned out to be not so far-fetched after all.
It's kind of mind-blowing and humbling at the same time, right? We like to think we've got it all figured out, but we're really just scratching the surface of what's out there. But that's what makes this whole journey of discovery so exciting. Well, that just about wraps up our deep dive into the world of visible dark matter. It's been a wild ride, that's for sure. We've covered a lot of ground today, and I don't know about you, but my brain is definitely full. So until next time, keep those questions coming, because the mysteries of the universe are best explored together. And who knows what incredible wonders we'll uncover next.